Hello. It's weird nowadays. Once in a while, like I like a couple of YouTube viewers. So when people see this stuff, I'm always like, hello, instead of being like, hello, welcome to Tuesday night team call. Well, everybody is so excited to see you, Ash. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe. Oh my God. I'm so proud of you. And just so you guys know, like, I'll be asking all of you guys to be speaking on this call. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to happen to all of you. I mean, if you want, like, if you work, you know what I mean? So feel Ashley's pain. You got to start somewhere. I remember I was a brand new coach, like just as new as you, Ashley, actually maybe a little, probably the same as you. And, Keith asked me, my coach asked me to do a new coach training with him. And, I first was like, not really good with computers. And he was like, no, you got to be a yes person and figure it out along the way. So ever since then, I've just said yes to every single opportunity, and now I have a team like this because of it. So super proud of you for taking your second big step. I know you did Siobhan's call last week or 2 weeks ago. Proud of you. So does anybody have any announcements before we get going? I haven't officially said that friggin' Becky Nunez and Kelly Holiday are Emeralds. Congratulations. We have lots of people about to be Diamond. I know Lisa Matienzo is very, very close. I know that Ashli Williams is about to be friggin' 2-star qual. Siobhan is officially 2-star qualifying. It's like, that's what's up. Lots of people close. I know Catherine Cook, really close to Diamond. Really proud of you. Anybody else? Who's rank advancing for Thursday? Goddamn. This needs to change for next week, all right? So also 30-day refresh, you guys should tell your boot campers that it is on 10% off. So it is like the easiest thing ever to promote, for me at least, because just make it super nonchalant. So you know what, I'm pretty sure I have like a whole entire, like, from start to finish how I get my people started, and I've been telling you guys for a while, but I kind of want to get it a little bit more like written down on paper. First, step 1, step 2, step 3. I feel like you guys know, but some people might not know, so I'm going to get that organized for you. It's on my list to do this week. But hold on, I'm going to write this. I forgot what I was going to say. See, Ashley, you're good. You're fine. You got me to start off. So 30-day refresh.
I had something. Never mind.
I know what I'm going to say, but don't forget that, Ashley. I was going to say 3-day refresh. It's the easiest thing ever. I was going to say, because when I'm starting people off, it's the most simple way possible. It's just like they fill out my application, my bio. I don't care if they were just a DM. And I was like, can you just do me a favor and fill out the application, my bio, so I have your information on file? And they do that. And then I basically just say, I'm so excited. I obviously reread their why they wanted to sign up with me. I take one thing personal out of it and I add it to this long, huge script thing that just says, if you have any questions, I'm just going to hopefully answer a couple for you. Here's what you're going to get. And this is how much it costs to join. And then I say at the end, what I'm doing at the moment, Transform 20, Ultimate Portion Fix, something. And then I remind them one more time, just so you know, I know that was a lot of information, but all I need from you really is your email address, whatever flavor of Shakeology you want, and if you want to do Transform 20 with me or not, and if you want this stuff. And so I'll give you guys all the information, but I'm just saying all of this because now it's just going to be like a little star at the end. Oh, just so you know, I'm going to be doing a 3-day cleanse. I don't like to say 3-day refresh. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I like them to have to ask me questions. So I'm going to be doing a 3-day cleanse with a bunch of girls in my next boot camp. We're going to start it off that way. So we can start, down, 3 to 5 pounds. Every time I do, I lose between 3 and 7 pounds. Don't worry. It's not like a shit your pants cleanse. It's super simple. And it's comes with a step-by-step guide on how to do it. If you want to do it with me, Totally fine if it's $40 more. Totally fine if not. I just wanted to ask. I didn't want you to be pissed off when you saw other people posting about it. That's it. And hold on, I need to mute. Oh, so that's it. And they always say like, yes, Transform 20, Chocolate Shakeology. Yes, 3-day refresh. This is my email. It's just the easy way to talk about the 3-day refresh. Anyway, 10% off. Might as well talk about it. I'm going to be talking about it, and I usually always get, yes, it's an extra $40 to lose an extra 5 pounds your first week. So anyway, Ashley, if you want to ask a question, go ahead. Ashley's fault.
I was just going to say something about Summit really quick. Everybody should have gotten the email, but if you didn't see it at all, for anybody going to Summit that is like prize driven as far as like Success Club goes, I'm pretty sure this is it. If you get a combined total of 20 Success Club points in the month of April and May, you'll get invited to, I think it's the Success Club party at Summit. And I know for some people, like prizes and things like that don't like drive them, but I'll tell you guys one thing. When I went to that party last year, it was so much fun. And it's just another event that you get to go to and like connect with other people. So if you're driven by something like that, definitely just go for it either way, because it's just another experience to have while you're there. And if you're making the trip and investing the money to go, you should be pushing to be able to go to those types of things. So I just wanted to remind everybody of that. If you're going to Summit, like, let's all make it our freaking goal to be at that party.
Hey, raise your hand if you're going to Summit. How many people do we have? Oh my God, I want to know. I need to know. Kelsey, you made a page, correct? So if you guys are obviously in Team Termination, so look up Kelsey Crossan Summit in the search bar, and she made a page with a link. So we should all be in it. So it could be like, oh, do you want to, whatever, you want to meet up here? Cool. So we can all be together. I'm thinking about getting another photographer as well. So we want to meet up for pictures and some food and all that. So that's amazing. Thank you for saying that. So did you guys read that? It was 10 this month and hear it. 10 this month, 10 next, correct? Sorry, let's just, I want to read this real quick. Christine, don't make me cry right now.
Yeah, it's not combined this year, guys. It has to be at least 10 this month and 10 next month. So you can't get like 8 this month and 12 next month. It has to be, 10 or more each month this year.
Good to know. So that party is so fun. Carl Deichler is at it, and all the super trainers are at it, and they talk to you like they're your best friend, and it's just another like business post you can make, opportunity post you can make, and just like a way to meet the people that change your life. So who's going for that? Me. Oh my God, who already hit it? Sorry, keep your hands up if you hit it. Well, for this month. I am. So anyway, you guys, something to look forward to. Thank you for saying that, and thank you for putting that in there, Kelsey. Anything else before we get started? Ashley Williams is like, just keep going. Just whatever you want to say. All right, cool. I know this feeling that you're having right now, Ashley. So Ashley started, she's been here working for like a year in May, and really started going hard like the last like 6 months, I feel like. And I really want her to speak. Of course, I want a lot of other people to speak on the team as well, and they will be people. I have my eye on some people, but I really want Ashley to speak because so she just has like a giant team all of a sudden, and instead of just like waiting for me to be like, or her coach or whatever, to be like, what do I do? How do I help these people? She just did it, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a leader right there. So I wanted to call with her immediately. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's a leader. So I want to talk to her. And like, for instance, I made a post a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, saying post your volume below. Post your weak volume and your strong volume, left and right leg, whatever. a bunch of people on her team noticed it, and instead of being like, I don't know, look it up, or I don't know, ask Haley, she was just like, what she learned about it, she taught herself and made a team call about it. She does webinars before I even started doing webinars. So like when she noticed some people on her team, they needed to offer the business opportunity, instead of waiting for somebody to do it for her, she created her own and invited to it. And now her team has a place to invite to the business opportunity that's a little bit smaller. And she just did it. You know, I didn't even talk to her before that. I was like, really? And what else I wanted to say about her? She's obviously, I told you guys this, she's a 1-star diamond, about to be 2-star qualifying. And she's a mom, and the name of your team is Electric Empire. I like that a lot, by the way. But I'm like, what else can I say about you? Because I'm obsessed. I'll just let you talk. I really want you guys, I want you to know a little bit of her story and just not think that she's lucky or anything like that. She just, I just think it's crazy because she's brand new, basically. And I remember my first summit, I went by myself. And her first summit, she's going to be, I think, what'd you say, 13 people with your crew? Something like that.
I think we were trying to count the other day. I don't know for
It's
sure
amazing.
how many,
It
but
took 3 years to get to that. So I'm like, can you tell everybody what you're doing? And I know that you think that you're not doing anything too special, but what I just said was very special. So you can just want to start with your story.
sure.
Okay.
So I was born in 1989. I'm kidding. My story kind of starts, well, literally like back in 2012, which sounds extreme, but I got married in 2012, and then we kind of knew going into our marriage that we were probably gonna have some fertility issues, and then we did. So 6 months into our marriage, we started seeing a doctor, and he put me on medicine for fertility, and I was on it for 6 months. And in that 6 months, I gained 25 pounds and like some very severe depression. And it kind of just spiraled from there for a couple of years, and 5 years. And we moved, and like when we moved into the end of 2013 to Nebraska for my husband's job. And when we moved, I really noticed it like starting to take a hit on me because I wasn't in my comfort zone anymore, and I was way heavier than I'd ever been in my life, and like struggling with something that I wasn't talking about, and taking medicine that was rough on my body. And I just kind of like started shutting down and shutting in, and that continued. And when I saw the pictures, I'm sorry, can you guys all hear my kids? My kid. By kids, I mean my sister.
I was like, I'm wondering if somebody wasn't muted. I'm like, no.
Nope, it's my family. I'm sorry. I already told them. Sorry. It's bedtime, so we'll see. Anyways, spoiler alert, I have a kid now. So I struggled, and finally my husband was like, just come to the gym with me. So I started doing the gym thing, and we would go for like 2 hours a night. And I then was like, that's not working. So then I added another hour while the kids that I nannied for were napping, and that wasn't working. So then I started cutting calories, and I did that for 6 months, and like I didn't lose a pound. And part of that was the fertility medicine, and part of it was clearly like hindsight. I was not treating my body well. And I was so defeated. And so in 14, my friend from high school was like, hey, you should try 21 Day Fix. And I was like, whatever, nothing else is working, I guess I'll give it a shot. And I did, and it worked better than the 6 months of what I was doing. And I signed up as a discount coach because I don't know if you know this, but if you're military, then it's free. You don't have the coach fee every month. So I was like, well, discount, I'll take it. And that was the sum from like June to August of 2014 that I coached. And in August, we started doing like physical fertility treatment. So we did medicine for years and it didn't work. And then we were like doing actual treatments, and I quit. I was like, I can't, it's too much. It wasn't working. Like I was the coach that everybody doesn't want to have. And sorry, Ash. And so I quit. And fertility rev up and kept failing. And then in 2000, and I kept gaining weight. And in 2016, I finally had a specialist figure out what was wrong with me, and I had a surgery, and we started IVF. And I, at that point, had gained at least 50 pounds, probably. I remember going to the consultation for IVF and being terrified on the way there that they were going to tell me I couldn't do it because of my weight. And they didn't, but that feeling stuck with me. Like, if I got this far and this is what's going to hold me back, like, something has to give. Well, it didn't hold me back. And I went through a transfer, or a retrieval and a transfer, and it didn't work. And then I went through another transfer, and we were pregnant with twins. And then we lost my daughter's twin at 12 weeks. And then I had a terrible pregnancy. Terrible. Like, I was so sick and on so much medicine. And then I had a rare condition. So I was on bed rest, and then I was in the hospital on bed rest. And then I had to have a C-section early, and Lexi was in the NICU. Like, it was traumatic. And then I had this miracle baby. And then 3 months after that, my husband deployed, and I was like, what is happening? Like, what's happening here? And so I went through that. He was like gone for 4 months and home for like 3 weeks, and gone for 2 months and home. And then the last time he was coming home, he came home for 3 weeks, and we moved houses. And it was the end of 2017, and I had a 10-month-old, and family was here for Christmas. And I'm sorry, I practiced and I was not emotional, but
oh my God, stop, you're amazing.
Family was here, and we were supposed to be going out with our friends and our family, and I was just like crying in the bathroom because I hated everything I put on, and I didn't want to go anywhere. And then we went out that night, and we ran into somebody in town, and they asked how I was, and I said, oh, living the dream. And I caught myself being sarcastic about living my dream. Like, I was literally living the dream that I had dreamed and worked so hard for and given so much up for 5 years. And I was being sarcastic and snide about this life. And I was like, that's it. Like, this is not me. This is not good enough. Like, I have to change something. I'm not being kind. My daughter deserved way more than I was giving her. I was like, that's it. Something has to give. So Shay left, and the day he left, I was like, the only thing I know how to control right now is my weight. So I'm going to go back to that thing that worked 4 years ago, and I'm going to try again. So she gave it to me, my friend's bod sign-in, because I had already given up on myself way too many times to want to pay money for it. Again, the worst person ever for us, and I'm sorry. And Haley, you're going to die. Took the Shakeology out of my cabinet that I had had for 4 years, and I'm not proud of it, but I drank it, probably 3 bags of it, because I sucked at canceling. That's disgusting. Don't do it. Don't let anybody else do it. But I did it, and I'm alive. So gross. Sorry. Now you know my secret. So I was drinking the Shakeology. I started T25 and stealing it from my friend. And I, then I was telling some of my girlfriends from back home, I was like, I'm doing it. Something has to change. Keep me going, make me do it. And one of them was like, oh, you have to try Energize. I was like, okay. She called it mom crack. And I was like, that's exactly what I need. Sign me up for that. So I was doing the shakes, doing the workouts, drinking the mom crack. And I did it by myself for 3 months, and I lost 17 pounds. And we went to Jamaica. And about the time I was about to go to Jamaica, Jillian Smith is my coach, and she's been one of my best friends since college. And she was like, hey, so I'm going to do the Beachbody thing and I'm waiting my 6 months and you should do it with me. And I was like, nope. I'm like, I'm fine. Like, I'm losing this weight by myself. I don't need you. Not her personally. I did need her, but I didn't need a Beachbody. And she's like, no, come on. You're already doing all of the things. You may as well get a discount. And I was like, no, girl, I'm good. And then I went to Jamaica and I was like proud of myself. That picture, the before and after picture that Haley posted, that first one was in Jamaica. So it was after I lost 17 pounds, guys. I like at my highest, I was over 200 pounds. I don't remember exactly where, but over 200. So I did okay in Jamaica, and then I got back in, you know, we all do it. Like you work really hard for something when you have something to work for, but then now that thing was over and I was like, oh, not giving up on myself, but not really very dedicated. And Jill was still like, come on, it's going to be fun. And I was like, all right, whatever. It's free for me. Like, that's a shitty attitude to have, but whatever. So she was right. So I signed up as a discount coach, guys, a discount coach. And that lasted like 5 days. I'm not even kidding. I signed up on May 1st, and on May 5th, I went to a wedding, and I remember it was May 5th because it was Cinco de Mayo, and I was pissed they didn't have tacos. They did have margaritas, so that worked out. But I wore like this romper, and actually that's the one that I wore in that picture that Ashley posted today. You guys are cute. And I posted just like a couple picture of Shay and I on Instagram, and my phone blew up. I like started getting messages from friends that I hadn't talked to, and people are like in my inbox and texting me like, girl, what are you doing? And like, I'm not that popular. It's probably like 7 people, but it felt like a lot. And they were asking questions, and I was like, well, I mean, I can help you. So I did. And then Siobhan called me one day struggling, and I was like, well, there's this like new thing, you could try it. And she's like, okay. And so then all of a sudden I had like a few people, and we all got into the challenge group together. I hadn't done a challenge group yet with you guys. Like, this is just happening. And we get in there, and I'm still like, but mostly just a discount coach. And my concern was, I'm going to be honest, going into this, my concern was never that it wasn't possible. Like I said, I signed up back in 2014. I had followed the community after that. I knew what was possible. I was finally finding myself, and I was afraid to add something else. And I was afraid to take time away from Lexi because she was my world, and I felt like I'd already failed her for the first 10 months of her life, and I was afraid to give any of that up. And Jill's like, it's okay. Like, you can go at your own pace. And she put me in the Boss Babes training, and I got into the challenge group. And that month we read Girl Wash Your Face. And at the same time, so it's just like a culmination of things. Like, people started asking questions. I was in the challenge group for the first time, loving it. We had a Facebook message going of like all of my girls, which still seems crazy, in like this thread. I was reading Girl Wash Your Face, and then I had been following Emily Favre for a while. She went through infertility. Her husband's also an Air Force pilot. Like, I had a lot in common with her, and I loved following her journey. And at the time this is all happening in June, end of May, beginning of June, she said in her story or something that she tripled her husband's salary. And I was like, well, he has the same job my husband has, so I know how much money that is. And I was like, this girl's like 26. Like, if she can do this, and she became my she, like, if she can do this, I can do this. And I remember standing up and walking in the living room, and I was like, Shay, I'm going to triple your salary. And he was like, all right, girl. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make $1 million. And he was like, get after it. And then I did. Well, I mean, I haven't made $1 million, but then I got after it. And my, like, all right, I'm in it. I'm doing it. I'm 100%. And I say all of that. Because helping me, I can't hear you. Are you saying words?
I was saying, God damn it, come back. You were frozen. You're back.
Oh no. Gosh, I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. Now.
Okay. I think something that has made me successful in this is that I know it's going to take time. Number one, I know I'm going to be successful. There's not any doubt in my mind. I just am. I knew I had to say yes to this call. Like, well, and two, I know it's going to take time, and that's easy to see. You can just look across the stories, guys. Like, look at everybody. And what I was noticing when I started was everybody, like, at their 4-year mark, about they were hitting 6 figures at this point, and she's going to be going to kindergarten in 4 years. So I'm going to be home with her till then. I may as well just give this my all for those 4 years. And then when she goes to kindergarten, I can either decide I'm going to do it or not do it. And at that point, I was decided I will do this for 4 years. All the pressure's off. And like, that's just how I operate. I don't operate with pressure. And I feel like that gives my girls that same the same mindset. Like, I'm not anxious and like chasing and like, do I have goals? Hell yes. Am I dedicated and determined? Yes. But am I like freaking out and crying and desperate all the time for it? Nope. Like, I want my girls to be successful because I truly want to see them succeed, not because of how it will affect me, because I know I'll get there. Like, it just will happen in time. And I don't let it drive me in coaching my coaches, and I don't let it take the fun out of what this business is. And I think so often we're so desperate for success that we stop paying attention to our coaches as like our people and our family and our friends, and we start using them as like pawns in this game to become a higher rank. And y'all, that's just not going to work. That's not what this is. Like, you have to be genuinely invested in your coaches for them to be successful. Like, when they hit roadblocks, it hurts me just as much as it hurts them. Like, in my heart, not my business. I don't care about that. Like, it's going to happen. Yes, relationship business. Like, that starts from the very beginning. And that's something that people ask me a lot. Like, other coaches ask me a lot, like, where are you finding these leaders? And it's not like a secret well on Instagram. There's not like a secret hashtag. Like, I'm finding them in my challengers, guys. Like, I get so passionate, and I hope you guys know this is all coming from like a place of love. But like, are you coaching your challengers out of a place of ease, or are you coaching them because you want to see them be successful? Are they your challengers because they got you Success Club points and that's what your goal was for the month? Or are they your challengers because you actually want to see them be successful and change their life? Because they're not just numbers on the board. And we get so caught up. And guys, I suck at Success Club. Like, don't take any advice from me about that. My numbers are low. It is not something I'm strong at. That's okay. I have weaknesses and I can work on it. My like fire and passion for this is definitely on the business side of it, and growing a team and being a team builder and a team leader. That's where I spend a lot more of my effort and my time, and I know it goes hand in hand and I'm working on it. But we get so caught up in like these numbers, and I feel like it comes back a lot to like the desperation. Like, we want to like hit these numbers and we want to make these commissions, and like, that's awesome. But you're never going to go further than that if you're just plopping people in a group and then liking 3 of their posts and then never talking to them again. Or like actually caring about their success. Are you just checking in and saying like, how you doing? And then not offering anything when they're struggling, or just accepting I'm okay? Or are you really digging into, are they okay? Are you writing people off because they're not getting you Success Club points? Because, whoa, let me tell you a little story about my friend Siobhan. She signed up with just 2B, guys. Only 2B. No challenge pack, no nothing. 2B only. And if I would have written her off then because I wasn't getting Success Club points, if I would have not put her in my challenge group, if I would have not invested in her, if I would have not encouraged her, if I would have not believed in her, she would not be here. So stop looking at people as like a goal and start looking at them as people who can become incredible coaches, because that's where my incredible coaches come from. All of my rockstar, all of my working coaches all started as challengers. And none of them were just like, okay, I did it for like 3 weeks and I lost like 5 pounds and now I'm ready to be a rock star. Like, no, it took time and it took encouragement and it took pouring into them. And that's exhausting sometimes. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's hard to constantly be lifting up other people, but that's your job as a coach. So if you don't like it, don't be a coach. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, I just get like, I'm a little appalled sometimes by how some people are treated. And I'm not saying like from our team, but we all get the people who message us and they're unhappy where they are. And I'm like, well, shit, if I was there, I would be unhappy too. Like, you got to show up for your people. You have to encourage them from challenger through to coaching. And then it doesn't stop when they sign up as a coach. Then I'm not like, okay, bye. Like, then I talk to my girls every single day. Like, Eden went to the park. Well, it was in her story, so you guys know that. But I also know that. I know that Anini doesn't like ice cream right now, and it's breaking her heart. Like, I know weird things about my girls because I'm constantly in communication with them. And don't sleep on people. Like, there's no way to know. Siobhan's a great example, but like there are others. There's no way to know who's going to be successful in this business. They could be rock stars out of the gate, or they could be determined as hell for themselves and not be good coaches, not be good at other things. Or they could have a lot of spunk up front, but not have any work ethic. Like, you can't nail down who's going to be a good coach. You need to be pouring into all of them and let them weed themselves out. And then when they do, say bye and move on. And like, I'm pretty blessed. I have not had very many people leave. I know one day I'm going to have my heart broken. Like, I know that. I know I'm going to think that I have somebody that's a lifer with me, and then they're going to leave and I'm going to be heartbroken. And that's part of this business, and that sucks, but it's worth it to me. And I feel like the better foundation you build, the stronger connections you have, the less that happens. If you're treating them like people and giving them the encouragement and the space that they need to be leaders and to be solid coaches, then they're a lot less likely to flake when things get hard. Okay.
I am like making so many noises back here. I wish Patrick was with me. I was like, yes! Like, you are seriously, every single thing that you say. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. I don't know if you just really take a breather. So this is like what I've been working on. So is just helping, it's kind of weird to say out loud, but less people, but giving more to people that trusted me. And it was hard for me to do that because obviously for me, it was a pay cut, but also it was a pay cut for a while. And now it's like, you know, double, tripled my money, because your money isn't with commissions, signing people up, hitting high success club. Can you guys hear me? Because Ashli's frozen. There you are. You're not frozen anymore. Just saying, like, commission's amazing, but you don't want to work with that forever. You want to be able to go on vacation and come back with a big, huge check from just sitting on vacation. And that's what you get from a team. So, and that's how you don't have to worry about money when something happens. So that's what I've been working on. And I think it's amazing and so great that you've been working on that since you started coaching. So lots of people just get like money hungry, you know what I mean? And just like want to help. And I get it. You can do both, but like you can do both. You can sign up a lot of people and also help them, but you just have to come up with like a really smart system. And it's a little bit overwhelming, but you can do it because it's been done and I've done it. But I, like, my coach always told me he's much rather me create, hit Success Club 10 instead of like 50. Like I used to hit like 70, hit those like 10 and actually create one leader that month, then hit 70 and just work for commission. So this is like basically what he taught me and you were just doing. So I think it's amazing. Guys, is your mind blown? Whoo! I have lots of notes here. Do you want to say anything else, Ashley, before we keep going?
No. I mean, like I was going to touch on two things that Keith said in that training that he did that I feel like really stuck with me. The first being that your self-esteem is your ceiling. Like however good you think you're going to be, that's how good you're going to be. And if you're telling yourself that you aren't going to be successful or that you're not a good leader, then you're not going to be a good leader. Mm-hmm. So don't let that like be a narrative that you're listening to. Like you just have to do it. I started a team page and started team calls before I was diamond. Like Haley said, when my girls' heads were exploding because they didn't understand volume, then I spent 6 hours on a Saturday learning about volume so that I could teach it to them. You just have to be aware of your girls and be there to answer the questions and like I don't know.
Like that's just being a leader. Another thing I love that you said was like, it's going to take time to build a big business that will last. And so like, that's what you're attracting because you're not trying to be the top right now. Like why is everyone trying to rush this business, trying to race to the top? It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So like, it's going to take time. And I feel like you should talk about that more. All of us should, because lots of people think they're just going to hop in here and be like us now. You know what I mean? Like it's not happening. You have to be patient with it and like make posts about the kind of stuff because like a business that will last takes time. And like, why would you quit on that if the business that we're doing is to help ourselves and help others, I think I love that you said, stop looking. No, wait, you can't nail who is like going to be your rock star coach. You just basically need to treat all of them like that. That is mind blowing. So true. So true. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to say to Ash? Feel free to unmute yourself. Be brave.
I love you and I'm so proud of you. I'm like, who's talking to me? Hi, Jill. Thank you. You know who's talking to you.
Oh, damn. That was freaking fire, baby girl. So proud of you.
Wow, everyone needs to hear that.
I have a question. So Ash, in regards to like kind of bouncing off what Crystal said in the chat, as far as like your check-in process goes, so Jill said that you use like email. So what's kind of like your process on checking in with your challengers? Do you do it once a week? Do you do it a couple times a week? Do you just do it all the time?
So I am just now switching over to email because I couldn't keep up with like the texts and then Instagram Messenger and Facebook Messenger, and it was just everywhere. And I was struggling with not working because if it was like popping up constantly, then I felt like I had to reply constantly. And with email, I can just send it out and then not reply till I open my email again. I send out one like at the very beginning of the month with Streak to like everyone. And then I do a newsletter and then that. And then as people respond, I just like sit down probably every other day and like go through them. I don't get caught up, like unless they're asking specific questions, I don't like continue a conversation throughout the week, but I reply to them. But then I think another huge thing for us, and I know everybody does it differently, but we do our challenge in Facebook, and that has helped us a ton with engagement, because it's so much easier to, I was only in the tracker a couple times, but like how you can't reply to an actual person, it like goes to the bottom of the list, and it's so hard to have a conversation there and build a connection there, because it's like constantly, like I had to scroll through 100 people to like read the reply, and then by the time I got there, I'm like, but what what did I actually say? And then I'm like scrolling back. So Facebook helped us a lot with that. And I feel like that helps our engagement a lot for those who are active, at least.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
You said you send out, hi, you did great, Ashley. It's Christine. You said that you send out a newsletter every month.
Yes.
What's that? Can you tell us about that? Or do you not want to?
I can.
What do you talk about?
It's super basic. It's just like kind of 3 areas, and I do challenger shout out. So like one of my challengers that's crushing it, I do like their picture and just like talk about how long they've been doing it and what they're crushing. And then I do their like favorite program and their favorite product. And then I talk about kind of like what's happening in Beachbody. So like when T20 launched, I talked about that. I showed my results from T20 because, and really when I do these newsletters, I am doing them more for my customer program people who I don't have a relationship with or who aren't in my challenge group, more than I am for my challengers, because they're seeing this in the challenge group. But those customer program people, I'm trying to like pull them in. And then sometimes I do a recipe. In February, we did like a self-love focus. And so I talked about that in the journal that we were going to be following, just to kind of try to pull in some of my customer program prospects.
Oh, hey, Jill. That's amazing. But do you guys notice that she's doing that? You know what I mean? That's like screams leadership, you know? So, any other questions? Thank you for that. Thank you. That's a good question, Christine. I'm like, I have tons of notes for that one. I need to do that ASAP.
I have one more.
Cool. We have until 9:30. I mean, until Ashli just gives up on us. So
I'm cool.
So do you send that newsletter to like your leads that Beachbody gives you? Yeah, everybody.
And
Everybody.
you do it to like your basically everyone that signed up with you.
Every single person,
Yeah,
whether or not they're active, whether or not they signed up and never did a day of the program. The only people who don't get it are the people who say do not contact on the list. So I always send an email when I get a new lead to just like introduce myself, invite them to the group if it's a girl. And then I always am like, if you're not comfortable yet, you should follow along with me on Instagram and you can get to know me and what I do better. And hopefully it makes them more comfortable. And then since I already have their email in the system, I send the newsletter to them also.
You just keep like an ongoing streak for that?
Yep. Like usually just like once a month, I sit down and add in like my customer program people to my streak and send out like the new one.
This is amazing. Does everybody know that on your like Coach Online office, if you scroll down like just one scroll, it literally says like news. It tells you exactly what's going on. Like I said, 3-day refresh is 10% off. So you would be able, that's part of like a newsletter you can make. You know, maybe show if you ever done the 3-day refresh, show your transformation or somebody else that has that you know. So like Ashli says she's not so special. Not that I don't do anything so special. Yeah, she does, because not a lot of people do this kind of stuff, but we all can. You know what I mean? Like Ashli's a new coach with a team of teams now, just because she took this business seriously. You know, instead of waiting for someone, like I'm just like you guys. I'm just doing my best, trying to learn. I'm trying to do my best. And like, I don't think of all the things like a newsletter, but me and Patrick actually plan on doing it now. Oh, hey, Kim. Hello. How are you?
Hi, babe. I have a question when you're done.
Yes, go ahead. But no, let me say this one last thing. We all can do this. You know, we all can do this. Okay, baby, go ahead.
I literally just listened to your whole call while I was in the shower.
Hey.
Hey. Okay. How long, or I shouldn't say how long, but when did you make your own team page or like your own stuff? Like when did you say, okay, I'm going to kind of do my own thing now and get out of the huge group, because I feel like that's something I'm struggling with. It's like, how many people do you have behind you?
I'm like kind of
that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I'm kind of a control freak. So like I started like my group chat with my girls literally like a week into it when I had any challengers. I had my own group chat. So even though I was putting them in the Win Your Life, and even though I was putting them in the group like the big group challenge groups, I was still communicating with them one-on-one. And then we started doing Zooms when there was like 3 of us. Jill, Siobhan, and I started doing Zooms. So like we weren't doing necessarily training calls, but we were like doing check-ins all the time. And then I started my team as soon as Eden and Siobhan were like pretty close getting Emerald. And as soon as I had those 2 girls working, I started a team page, because I was like, if I don't do it now, then I'm going to have to like move everybody later. And so I'm just like, nope, I'm just going to hit the ground running with it. And I started my team calls the same time I started my team page. And like it started as like 4 of us. But
so would you have 2 though? Because how like we have Win Your Life and Team Determination. Do you only have 1 page for your team and not your challengers?
Nope. So I run, we call it Own Your Journey, our challenge group. I run that with Eden and Jill, and Siobhan used to, and now Siobhan does her own. And then I have an Electric Empire team page for my coaches that is a different one.
Okay, copy. And would you, sorry, you're amazing.
Oh gosh.
Would you start it with someone? Or
yes. I get tricky with this. I love my girls, but you have to be careful about that, because I feel like we like, not any of my personal girls, but we have run into issues before where people like, you just have
some people decide not to work the business, you know what I'm saying? And someone's like trying to still, and it's just awkward.
It is awkward.
You kind of have to wait until you're like, this is my girl, she's staying with me.
Yeah.
So I won't lie, I've had my girls leave, so heartbreak, but I've had the same, Ashli and Kyla running my group with me for a while. But can I just say something? I know a lot of you guys know this already, but from day one, I had a guy coach, and he is all set with boot camps and challenge groups. He's never really run one. He's business only. So he told me I had to run my own from day one. And plus I wanted to run my own from day one because I wanted to be the leader. And I knew I wasn't even a leader yet. I just knew that I didn't want someone to be like, wait, why aren't you doing this? You know what I mean? Like, who is that? I didn't want to explain myself. So I just did it. And my first boot camp ever was I promoted to it. No one. And finally I was like, anyone that has a program could join. And some guy joined me, a man joined me. He quit on me halfway through. So I had to pretend like everything was fine and just kept going. So like you have to start from the bottom, now you're here. You know what I mean? You just have to start.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's easier than moving everybody. And I feel like I think Allie said this, and we talk about it a lot on my team page, like people sign up with you, people come to you. So like it's the same thing with like the webinars and the sneak peeks. Like, yeah, it's super uncomfortable and it's time consuming, but like, how are you going to tell somebody like, that's my coach. And like literally that's what happens. And then all of a sudden it's like 6 people removed, and they're like scrolling that first webinar. There's like 100 people on it. There's like 6 pages. They're like scrolling to try to find the one person that they sort of know. Like, you got to just do it. It's scary, but you just have to. If you want to be a leader, then you have to just decide to be.
Mm-hmm. I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to set up my Facebook group. Are you doing like the same format as Haley's, or how do you have it set up?
For your challenge?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't use the challenge tracker app. Ours is
Facebook.
Yeah. Ours is just continual in there.
But you have like your like Shakeology information,
like all that stuff set up as the information for your people?
It's on the list. We have an album for Shakeology, like recipes, and we have like a recipes album, but we just do like our daily check-in like she does, and we just keep everything in the comments so that it stays organized. Like right now we're doing a Shakeology challenge, so we have like a poll for the week to like click if you've had your Shakeology that week or that day or whatever. But it's, yeah, I've been saying that. That's like, I'm kind of embarrassed you asked it out loud, because I've been saying for a long time to the girls, like, I'm going to make all of the things so this is easy to navigate, and I still haven't made it a priority.
I was trying to do units in mind, like with Shakeology, so that way they can go and learn everything. So, you know,
So, yes, you should, but you shouldn't let that be the thing that keeps you from starting it.
Right.
Because that's what happens, is we start like pretending that we need to have all of this stuff, and then 6 months go by and we still haven't started the page because we haven't done all of the things. So like I am exactly that person, and I tried to talk myself out of the team page for like 2 months before I finally was like, whatever, I'm just like in my mom uniform, like I'm just doing a welcome video right now, and that's still the one that's in there, and it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. So obviously you're a stay-at-home mom.
I am.
To one. And how old is she?
2.
So I have a 3-year-old, and I kind of just want to know how you manage your time. Like, how do you, and not feel guilty, I guess.
Oh, that's
like,
impossible.
because that's like my struggle, is like I sit there and I'm like on my phone trying to work, and I'm like, I feel bad that like I'm sitting on my phone in front of him, and like I try to like limit his screen time, but I give him like his iPad to play on while I'm on my phone, and I use it as like, okay, we both are on our phones together. I explain to him that like mommy's working right now, go do your own thing, but then I like get distracted if he like needs to go to the bathroom or eat or this or that. So I'm sure there's other people in here that kind of struggle with that same kind of thing. And it's like I'm at home all day, yet I struggle to find the time to sit and actually focus and work.
Yep, that's me. You just described my whole life. It's freaking hard, and I'm not good at it. I'm going to be honest with you. My screen time's ridiculous. I'm on my phone way more than I should be. I am distracted. I have to just be very intentional about, like, I get up at 4:30 so that I can work out in the morning and get things done before she wakes up. I try to knock stuff out during nap time, but I'm still on my phone all the time. And I'll be the first to say, like, I work probably way too much. Like, I'm at least 6 hours a day, probably at least. I'm working on Beachbody stuff, so I'm not good at it. What I will say is that I've found that instead of trying to like limit my times during the day, what I've tried to do is I grind really hard on like Sunday through Wednesday, and then I take a step back Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm really intentional with my family time those 3 days. So instead of like trying to find times in the days, I try not to feel guilty in that. And I just know, like, okay, Thursday's coming and I'm planning something fun with Lexi. And like Friday, Saturday, that's family stuff. And like I still do the basics, but I don't let myself schedule the big stuff. And like I won't schedule calls on those days. I won't agree to do things on those days because I know that I have to make it family time. And also I just am constantly telling myself, like, this is my job and people cannot like it and people can make fun of me for being on my phone. Like, my sister gives me shit all the time about being on my phone, and I'm like, who's paying the bills? So if you were going to an office, you wouldn't, well, I mean, you would because your mom and we all feel guilty, but like it wouldn't be the same level of guilt. So don't let yourself feel guilty about working. Like, it is what it is and it sucks. And I also struggle with it, but just know at the end of the day, you're doing something to improve your child's life. Mm-hmm. And 5 years from now, when you're making 6 figures and you can take your kid to Disney World and get them like all the freaking churros they want, they're not going to care that you're on your phone.
I love that.
That's what I tell myself.
I love it because like it's your job. It's your job, but like you get paid to be at home with your family for that. You're not gonna miss the first step or whatever. One last question, then we gotta go. Lindsay Feeney, Ashli, what does your typical day look like? Like, what is on your to-do list on the average day?
I don't know. I honestly wonder. Sometimes I go to bed and I'm like, what the hell did I do today? A lot of it, honestly, I feel like a lot of my time is spent like preparing for like trainings or like our team calls, preparing for one-on-one calls. I spend a ton of time talking to my coaches in the challenge group. Like we spend, you guys would say like at least an hour a day probably commenting, and like we don't just like post and then not, like we comment on every single comment. We are interacting with every single post. We are like posting memes, posting GIFs constantly in there. It's overwhelming because there's no break from it. But I can't even complain because Siobhan went off and did her own, and now she's just the only one posting in a continual one 7 days a week, 31 days a month, every single day, commenting on everybody's, like, she's a queen, so I can't complain. I'm sharing it with other people. I don't know. I'm building relationships, I would say, is probably my number one thing. A lot of it is I do the recruiting method that Jennifer, is that her name? The Florida one with the bun. Richardson, Jen.
Yeah.
So I like recruit people, build relationships with people for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then invite them to something. And so I spend a lot of time doing that kind of relationship building content.
I love it. No, that's like my coach Keith and his coach Bob. All they say is most of your time should be spent building relationships, and like that's what this whole business is building relationships. It's not like sign up and be gone. Like the way to be successful is to help other people become successful. And it took me a little while to realize that, but I get it, and I'm so glad that you get it right off the bat, Ash. But you were amazing. Everybody just give a round of applause here. Wow. So proud of you.
Thanks for listening to me.
By the way, Jillian sent me a shambong, just saying.
She did? I've been her friend for so long.
Oh, I'll send you one too, Ash.
Well, now it's a pity bong.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. But everybody, I really hope that you guys get some inspo from Ashli Williams, because again, brand new coach, leader off the bat. Doesn't matter if like, I can tell there's a difference between a diamond and a leader. Diamonds just, they can drop. They don't, like leaders, they know what can happen in this business, and they're not going to give up because of some stupid little goal didn't happen right away, or somebody just quit. Like they're not, there's a huge difference. I knew Ashli was a leader since the second I talked to her, before she was friggin' diamond.
Thank you.
You must feel so good. You're going to have a glass of wine?
Oh yeah. I told Shay, like, when he leaves in the morning, I feel bad. This is terrible timing, but I was like, I promise that I'm done.
Oh my God. Let's go, everybody. Let's go. I love you so much. Congratulations. I'll talk to you guys.
Thank you. Bye guys.